suburban Nevadans because he's lived them. He's a strong advocate for school choice, career and technical education, and expanding youth sports opportunities. A lifelong sportsman and conservationist, he supports Second Amendment rights and youth firearm safety and outdoor programs. His priorities include lowering the cost of supporting small businesses, improving public safety, and empowering parents in educational decisions. Would you please give a warm round of applause to Cody Whipple? All
right. Super excited about being here today. I've got some great stories coming for you. Here's the first one. We're all heading up Reno today. I hear you don't get to play the Wallace Center, but it's a big weekend for I remember back in 1989, I think it was the end of February, and I was a JV player, and Coach Ander let us JV players come up and play with the varsity for the state tournament. And these guys, Alex and a few of the class of 89, Brian Higbee, Johnny, Dusty, were a great class. Great leadership for me. Great leaders for a young man like myself that was a freshman. But this is what I remember about that first state championship game. We're playing Dayton, and these guys play an excellent game. They're up so far that Coach Ander decides to put the freshmen in. So if you're a JV player, listen up really fast. Coach Ander says, hey, you all get in. And things were a little bit crazy. You know, you run out there, it's a foul shot, you're looking to where you're gonna line up, and all of a sudden, here goes the ball up. Well, I failed to see who was shooting the ball. I just ran up because I was a big rebounder, blocking out. I grabbed the ball, made a beautiful shot, made it. I was extremely excited. I mean, everybody was cheering, or were they laughing? I'm not real sure, but I'm not, a little of both. So I go running down the court, and I start looking over at my buddies, and I thought they're celebrating, but they weren't celebrating, they were pointing. I had scored for the wrong team. So I thought it was a great shot, but it was actually for the wrong team. But you know what? Alex is gonna be our first speaker tonight. This man has done amazing things. Been a great leader in Las Vegas. He's very humble. When I was a lowly freshman in football, Alex took care of me. Those locker room situations are pretty tough with the seniors, but Alex was always the one that kind of calmed everybody down, kept everybody on the same place. We're a team here. And so I want you to know how big of a fan I have been of Alex's for a long time. I respect what he did while he was here at Pahranagat Valley High School. So please give him a warm welcome. He's going to get up and be our first speaker. Thanks, Alex.
Do you guys hear me? Yeah, the sound system on this is really bad. So
We turn it.
that's Pahranagat Valley technology for you, right? Guys, I'm an alumni here. I was born in Northwood, but I was raised in Alamo. I am a Panther. I love following your guys' journey on Facebook.
Oh, sorry.
I got to use these. Sorry, guys. This makes me sound a lot like the voice that I actually have, so that's probably a good thing. I still have people call me and ask if they're talking to my mother, you know, when I answer the phone. All right, guys. I'm excited to be back. I haven't been back in this building, and I'm going to say 30 years, all right? My education here from Pahranagat Valley High School has led me on an incredible adventure all over the world. I've been able to leverage it, parlay what I've learned here in the foundational roots I learned here in Alamo, Nevada, and create what I would say opportunities and businesses, not just in the United States, but do I have to stay right in front of the cameras here?
In front of the things.
Do I got to stay here?
Please.
I was on a roll too. All right, is that better? You guys hear me? You see me? All right. You hear me in the back? Can we have like a Go Panthers? What are you guys cheering out? Can we get a Go Panthers? You guys seem a little bit like quiet. What do you get? That was weak, guys. That was weak. I remember when I was here, it used to be a lot louder than that. Can we get like a
Where's
Go
the cheerleaders?
Panthers?
Cheerleaders, stand up, please.
Yeah, can we
Cheerleaders,
Go
get up.
Panthers?
Get up. Let's go. Cheerleaders up.
I thought this was a championship school. There we go. There we go. All right.
All right.
Are you guys champions or what? Come on.
When did we start having male cheerleaders? Thank you, sir.
It's all good. It's all good. Hi, guys. But I've been very blessed in my life because of the friendships and the opportunities that I learned here in Alamo, Nevada, that has led me all over the world. Let me tell you a little bit about my history here, okay? So I graduated in 1989. I remember in 1989 traveling to, the lakes down here, driving for hours with my friends, driving to the state line, the county line over there on the way to Vegas, and just sitting in the car and talking about what we wanted to accomplish once we got out of Alamo, Nevada, right? And I say that joking now because the older you get, the more you want to come back, right? When you're young, you've got all these dreams and ambitions. What you want to do is leave and create and build a legacy for yourself, your family, your friends, and just do something special, right? So we left. Well, I left. Dated a few girls, got married. Dated some more girls, but that was later. Not after I got married. Dated no girls after I got married. I'm sorry. That was a slip. No. But became a school teacher in Las Vegas. But I've always had this inquisitive nature about me. I've always wanted to build and grow. Some of you guys that have family that was raised here, who has family that was raised here? Okay, so some of you guys may know, your parents may know my family. We used to own a truck stop, like a Mexican restaurant here in town, and we owned it for like 30 years. We built it by hand, the family did, and we just created this amazing opportunity, not just for my family, but for other people in the Valley to work and support and build community. So I went to Vegas, became a school teacher, and I had this desire to do something more, to create, to build, to make more money. How many of you guys want to make money, first of all, in life? Every hand should go up, right? We all want to make some great money. We're going to talk a little bit about money here in just a sec. But so I decided to start selling houses. And I found out right away, within the first 6 months, that I was really, really, really good at it. And so, I was teaching for 10 years in the district, making $32,000 a year. And then I was working selling houses for the first 6 months, making like $150,000 a year. And so I thought to myself, I said, there's something to this. There's a business opportunity here for me, right? So I had to quit teaching and I started building a real estate empire, a real estate company, a business in Las Vegas. I partnered up with a friend. We started a real estate company. It's still there today. It's just a lot smaller than now because I left it, right? But we grew this thing to like 45 agents and selling 500 or 600 homes a year, making great money, right? And then like with all things in life that happen, the ground kind of falls out, right? And you guys remember 2008? You guys are probably not even born yet, right? But there was a housing issue here in the United States, and a lot of people went under. A lot of people lost their homes, and homes stopped selling. And so we had to readjust and refigure out what we were going to do, right? So I went and worked for a bank for a while, and I was a regional manager for a bank. But it wasn't my cup of tea, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur. I love business. I love money. I love growth. I love developing things, right? This is what playing on team sports taught me, is that, you don't always have to be the best, the star player, but you have to be a great leader from a supporting role perspective. Now, when I was in high school and playing on the basketball team, I wasn't as good as Cody. I wasn't. He was much better than I was. Even as a freshman, he was much better than I was. But I had a little intimidation over you, right? Because I was a little bit older, so I used everything I could to intimidate him. But he was a much better player than I was. But he wasn't as great as a supporting player, because he was a star player, right? I was a supporting player, and I supported my team. I supported Brian Higbee and Dusty Rhodes and Johnny Wright and all these massive names that you guys probably don't even know, but they used to be really cool here in Alamo, right? We used to run this school. Yeah. And we've got like people like Tori. Where's Tori at? Or is it Mr. Frainer now? What is it? I don't even know what they call you. They call you Mr. Tori or Mr. Frainer? Mr. Frainer. Where's Eric at? Eric. Wait. What do they call you now? Eric's a lot grayer than I remember. Like, you were not that great, right? You're not that great. So anyways, I did that for a little bit. Then in 2012, guys, I got the opportunity of a lifetime. And this is what I want you guys to really understand. When things are going great and the money is great, hold on to it. When I was making, $350,000 a year for basically doing nothing, just letting other people sell for me, I fell into this weird trap. And I call it the income trap, right? Because once you hit $250,000, $300,000 a year, you can pretty much do anything you want as a person. By this time I was divorced, dating more girls again, right? And I had so much money that I was just spending it like crazy, doing the $10,000, $15,000 bottle service at the clubs. But what I realized, folks, is that that's fleeting. It doesn't get you anything. It doesn't buy you. It doesn't bring happiness, right? And so I decided to readjust. How much time do I got, by the way?
As much as you want.
Brother, I'm gonna talk. So I found that you had to readjust your mindset and your perspective. And I'm gonna go over just a couple of quick things here that I think that you guys are really important for you guys to know. 2012, I left the country. I moved to a town called Abu Dhabi. Have you guys ever heard of Dubai? Okay, so I lived in Dubai for 4 years. You heard of Dubai? Great. I lived in Dubai, Abu Dhabi for 4 years. All the money is in Abu Dhabi. Okay, Dubai borrows money from Abu Dhabi because that's where the oil's from. I had nothing to do there. But I used to run the Latin Chamber of Commerce in Las Vegas. And while I was there 2 months without a job. I got a call. And the call said, Mr. Garza, we would like to invite you to be a keynote speaker at our Chamber of Commerce, Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce. I said, how much does it pay? They said nothing. I go, okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. I had nothing else to do, right? And so I go, how many people? They said 50. I show up, it's 500. Okay, I had never done a presentation in another country, never done a presentation in Arabic, nothing, right? I'm sitting in the audience next to the chairman of the board and all the leadership. Debbie Nicole, who is a lady from the UAE, been there for years, gave the most amazing presentation I have ever seen in my life. She's throwing out candy. People are standing, they're applauding. I mean, it was just crazy. Alex Garza gets up. Well, my name is Omero, but Alex Garza gets up, and I've got a 144 PowerPoint presentation with 14-point font. You guys never do that. And so I start my presentation, and the chairman of the board gets up and walks out. Now, I'm like 2 minutes into this, and I'm like crushed because I've got another 50 minutes to go, right? And so then I tell myself, we got to figure out really quickly what to do here. Just like when you adjust on a basketball court or on the football field, when something isn't working, you have to adjust a little bit and find the right way. This is what you learn in sports, right? You have to adjust and you have to find something that works. So I started telling stories. And the stories had them up and laughing and clapping. And after that, they came up to me and they said, we want you to train our employees. We're talking major corporations, Emirates Airlines, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, the Ministry of Civil Defense, for crying out. I've never been a police officer in my life, but I became their #1 trainer because I built a business over there providing those services for them, right? Now, I share this with you guys because sometimes in life, from a leadership perspective, we're talking leadership here, some things are going to work out, some things are not going to work out. What I've learned from Alamo, what I've learned, and I have my dear friends that I grew up here with my whole life. I want you guys to look left and right because these are the people that are going to be with you for the rest of your life, all right? This is it. I don't know about you guys, but my friends I grew up with since I was 5 years old, and we're still friends, and we still talk, and we don't text as much anymore because, we're getting older, but we still meet up, and we still talk about life and what we're going to be doing. And sometimes in life, you have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to change your direction just a little bit. And you've got to be willing to just try new things. I want to give you just a quick code, and I'm going to stop. I've got 10 really quick points. I'm not going to go into them, but this is how I live my life. But I just want to quickly read them so that you guys can understand the mindset of someone that my only focus now is to help other people make money. I work for an organization, 62,000 members across the globe. I was just telling these guys, we just held a high school basketball tournament. The 11 best teams in the world. We were in Malaga, Spain, and we held this tournament for all these teams from Liechtenstein, South Africa, Italy, Spain, Dubai, everywhere, right? It was an amazing event. But this is what I feel that you guys really need to learn here today and what you really need to walk away with. Number one, you have to have a mature understanding of wealth and prosperity because the people that end up with the most toys usually end up losing in life, okay? Number two, you have to be in the top 10 of your profession. Notice I didn't say school or college. If that's your choice, yes, but you have to be in the top 10 of your profession because good is not good enough anymore, especially in this competitive day and age, all right? And you guys have it even tougher than we had it growing up because everything you do is recorded on social media. If everything I did was recorded on social media, I would not be here today. I'd be locked up somewhere, I promise you that. Number three, live below your means and be ready for the next recession, all right? because the economic cycles are cyclical. They're going to come and go. So watch out for that. Number 4, minimize your debt, especially as kids. When you go to college, you're going to want that first credit card. Don't, man, pay everything cash. Do not get into debt. 5, you guys probably aren't into this yet, but invest at least 20% of your income in real estate and stocks. You guys could start that right now because that's how wealth is built, okay? 6, know your net worth even now. You're saying, I'm a high school kid. Well, great, know your net worth, because if you're saving 20% of your income, you have a net worth. You should really know that, because you can't measure what you don't know. And how are you going to grow it if you can't measure it, right? Number 7, be politically savvy, because everything is policy. Everything is politics in life, all right? Doesn't mean you have to be crazy or, like whatever, but just know politics. Number 8, be physically fit, because wealth without health is useless. Number 9, be generous to the people that are less fortunate than you, because you guys have been very blessed to grow up in a town where you've been a little bit sheltered, but you've been provided a lot of opportunities and a great education. Some people don't have that. And the last, not least, especially you guys that are heading off to college, whatever, be active in the lives of your family. And trust me, from an individual that has a college-age student, that's probably the most important thing. It's stay active in your parents' life, your siblings' life, because you are the role models now. So I wish you guys a lot of luck. If you guys are ever in Vegas, you ever need help, if you ever need an internship, I know people all over the United States, all over the world, and if I can get you an internship, whether it's Morningstar or B of A or Freddie Mac or the NCAA, whatever it is, you let me know, and I'll bust my butt to try to work that out for you guys, all right? It's been great being back. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I hope you paid attention to those 10 things. I agree with 100% of those. Next speaker. All right, everybody stand up real quick. Stand up. Stand up. Get a stretch in. Stretch. You guys got to go. This is going to be a long assembly. We got a lot to tell you. Next guest, Stephanie Phillips, right here. Good friend of mine. Ladies, this is a business leader in Las Vegas right here. Listen up. You can do this as well. You could go to Vegas. You could be in real estate. You could be an attorney. These women, these days in Las Vegas, are leading all industries. So here's Stephanie. Stephanie's a good friend. I appreciate her coming today. Here you go.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you. Thanks for inviting me. You guys all look the same. Sky is the limit. You'll see me. What I say is dream big. If you can dream it, you can live it, and you can do it. When I was in high school, my English teacher came to me and he said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be an assistant to a president of a company." And I thought that was a big deal. He said to me, "How come you don't want to be the president? How come you don't want to own a company?" And I was speechless. Anybody who knows me, I'm never speechless. I didn't know what to say to him. And inside my mind, I was telling myself, I can't be a president of a company. I can't own a company. I'm not smart enough. Fast forward. I got to Las Vegas 32 years ago. When I was 32 years old, I had 2 babies. My daughter was 2 months old. My son was 3 years old. And I started my first company. It was a real estate company. I'm in real estate too. But it didn't really take 32 years. So that was 21 years ago that I opened my real estate company. And I often thought about what my English teacher said to me. And I thought, if only he could see me now. And he had passed by then, and so he never did. But those words were so profound to me. And I always felt bound by those. Fast forward. I have always been involved in donating to children's charities. Charities that help traffic kids and rescue and feed hungry kids around the world. I've been involved in those for over 30 years. And I always wanted to start my own nonprofit. So in 2014, I bought a domain name called Dead Brothers. And I thought, when I retire someday and I have more time, I'm going to start my nonprofit. Well, a few years later, I went ahead and launched my nonprofit. Now, we do back-to-school programs, we bring school supplies, monetary donations for these families because the parents can't afford uniforms sometimes, they can't afford shoes for their kids, they can't always afford food. So we help in that way. I sponsor 2 schools. We bring toys to them at Christmas. And we do Feed the Homeless initiatives. And I hope to be able to do more things when I have more time. But fast forward again. A few years later, I got into politics. And I've always had an interest for politics. I love politics. And I decided to run for the United States Senate seat in 2024. It was the hardest thing and most challenging thing I had ever done. I took about 2 years of my life and I traveled this state all over and told people how I would represent them in the United States Senate. I didn't win. You don't always win. You don't always succeed the first time. But you will never see defeat if you don't give up. I didn't give up. I picked myself back up, stayed involved in politics, and now I am co-host on a political talk show. It's called Veterans in Politics. I do that every Wednesday night. My co-host is over here in the red Marine hat. And so we bring on candidates who are running for office. We bring on judicial candidates. We bring on elected officials, people who are judges, the mayor, city council members, county commissioners. We bring all kinds of people on so we can educate the public of who's representing them in their government. Also, a year ago, we started a political consulting business. So my second company. And so we run judicial campaigns right now. And I absolutely love it. So I went from thinking, I cannot be a president of a company. I cannot own or open a company of my own, to now having 2 and being involved in so many things. And you don't have to limit yourself to just your 8 to 5 job. If you have other interests, do that. You don't have to just be put in a box and just do one thing. There are so many things that I want to be involved in, so many things that I want to do. And each one of you have been given gifts, talents, skills. You all have a purpose here. I was gifted with a servant's heart. So everything that I do, I try to serve people and help people. So I would say, figure out what your purpose is, find out what your talents are, your skills are. Don't ever think like I did. Don't think that you can't be a president or an owner. You want to be a mechanic? Own the shop. You want to be a chef? Own the restaurant. You want to be a barber? Own the salon. There are so many things. If you want to be involved in more than one thing, you can. So I always say, dream big. You can dream it, you can live it, and do it. Say it with me. Dream it,
live it,
do it.
do
One
it.
more time like you mean it.
Dream it, live it, do it.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. We need to be in right here, okay. So we've got another guest, and as you've seen, you've got 2 fully developed professionals. One in real estate, international, and then you've got Stephanie, who's locally went into so many different things. She's making an impact all over town. You're dealing with 2 individuals that are plus 50 years of age and have seen a lot and done a lot already. And now we're going to bring you up a couple of speakers that are more in your age group. Okay, what are we dealing with? Gen what, Joseph? Gen Z? We got Gen X? No, millennials. Millennials. So we got the millennials coming up now. So here comes one of them. Marlon is a wonderful man. He is an entrepreneur. Okay, he's dreamed big things. He's putting them to work. He's a small businessman, and most importantly, he's a man of faith, and he's a family man. So I want to introduce you to Marlon. Marlon, come up and tell everybody who you are.
All right, so first up, guys, I just want to give you a round of applause for being here. I want to thank the faculty for putting this together. Listen, guys, I'm not that old, okay? I get it. Listen, I'm not even 30 yet. So I understand that this is not the most exciting thing in the world for you guys to do right now. I know that there's so many things that are pulling your attention right now. I know that phone's tingling. I know you probably have some TikTok videos saved. There's something going on. There's always something going on. And I'm in the media space, so I always have something going on as well. I know that there are so many things that try to detract and derail and get our attention away. But I'm here to just remind you of the importance of accountability of yourself and holding yourself accountable, not just for you, but for your loved ones, for your families, right? How many of you have someone that you love, that you look up to, that you appreciate, right? We all have those. And if you don't, maybe it's yourself, right? You have to learn what is the best way to implement that love. And the best way to do so is having a routine, setting aside time for things that really matter. When I was your age, there was only two things that really mattered to me, and I'll be honest. It was sports and it was girls. And that was pretty much it. I didn't really have an amazing home to go home to. There were instances where I said, man, I would do anything to be out of there, right? If I had gym class, I would go to the gym. I would do, so I did wrestling, cross country, track. So I would do gym class, then sports, then I would hit the gym, then I'd probably take a shower, then go on a date, and then I'd probably rinse and repeat and maybe, go to school and maybe pay attention, right? So safe to say, I wasn't this kind of A example, and nor do I want to portray that. But what I want to portray is that when you live a life that is derailed and just kind of for having fun, you find out quickly that it's not all that it's caked up to be. Okay, I'm from the city, so I'm from Vegas, born and raised in Vegas, and for the longest time, that's all I knew. And in a big city, there's a lot of confusion that can happen in life, right? You see all these fancy things, and it doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't leave you happy. And I'm not here to talk about faith, but I believe that there's a greater power and that there's something that you should look up to. And I thought that my answers were in just kind of running away from life and saying, you know what? Well, I don't want to be in the city either. I just want to escape. I just want to get out of here, right? I just want to get out and just go somewhere else and kind of just hit the reset button. So I went to college in Idaho in the middle of nowhere. Like there's potatoes and stuff, and that's about it. And I still didn't really know what my purpose was. What was I put on this earth to do? And I guess as a on the way aside, that's where I met my wife. And we still didn't really know what to do. We were thankfully, we're of the same faith, same belief, same strong mentality. So we got faith was already kind of beginning to cement itself. So at least I got that, right? But what about purpose? What am I going to do for life? Without really having a plan in mind, I got married really young. And it actually worked out, which is kind of cool because I know all you hear in the news is that marriage doesn't work anymore, etc. I got married at 21 years old, and pretty risky start, right? You don't know what to do, having a job that paid I think it was like $40K, which I guess was good back in the day when you were like 20 years old. So I was okay with that, and freshly married with all these responsibilities and having to think about rent and all these things and providing. And when you're in that space, a lot of times you can either build yourself higher or take yourself lower. And I decided to launch my own business because I thought that was what everyone did, right? I saw the TikTok, well, not TikTok, back in the day it was just YouTube, right? You would see all these gurus and they're like, hey, if you do digital marketing, you're gonna own like a Ferrari and all these things in like 3 months. And all these guys that would promise the world. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it, right? So I went down that rabbit hole, consumed YouTube videos nonstop. I had a corporate marketing job, and then I left that, and I was like, well, I'm smart enough. I can do this all on my own. And I started my own agency. And I'm telling you, that is the scariest thing to do when you're that age. You don't have a financial background. I never had financially savvy parents to tell me, hey, you know what, maybe you should save up a little bit more money, right? I would just run and gun. So that quickly turned into starting my own business, to struggling to get clients, to like 10K in debt. And I was like, what the heck, man? What happened to those YouTube videos? They're supposed to work out, right? And I was like, let me hold the line, let me keep the faith. And then like a few years later, you're like, bam, 40K debt. You're like, oh my gosh, this really sucks. But there's one thing that kept things consistent, and that is perseverance, finding that purpose. It's not one thing, but you know what I mean, core set of things. Perseverance, persistence, your faith, and just holding yourself accountable. I knew that if I didn't put in that hustle, if I didn't fix something, if I didn't change something and the way I was acting, the way I was headed, if I didn't change my trajectory, no one else is going to come save me, okay? There's no one that's going to pick up your hand and say, hey, it's all right, you can restart life. That's not how it works. You got to learn how to adapt and how to grow. And so I did that. We crawled out of that hole, 40K, surprisingly, and it actually became a pretty successful business. We've had the opportunity to work with NBA players, lawyers, different corporations. We're at the largest convention in consumer space in the world, CES. We're in a lot of different things that we get to experience. And I think it's so beautiful to experience life and just grab it by the horns. But if I can kind of rally things back, again, it goes back to accountability, because you guys are in a slightly different time period than mine was. So back in my day, I know I'm going to sound like such a boomer by saying that, but back in my day, social media wasn't what it was, okay? I'm older than Facebook, so I was, I don't know, like 10, 12 or whatever when Facebook first started, and it wasn't as data tracky as it is now, or as all the other social medias are now, okay? Today, if you're careless, if you disrespect someone, if you show yourself in a lower light than what you really are, there's going to be consequences. The consequences may not get you in a couple of years or maybe even in a decade, but eventually, you know, I'm a believer that if you cause harm, things come back to you. So don't cause harm. And if you've caused harm before in the past, remember, it's never too late to just pull someone to the side and be like, hey man, listen, I know last semester I kind of busted your chops. I was out of line. There's nothing wrong with making amends and building friendships. Don't discount the people in your circle right now. You may be in a small town, you know, you may be thinking to yourself, man, I can't wait to get out of here. Don't forget the people that were right by you, by your side, because you never know who they turn into. You never know who you turn into. You may be someone really important, and you may really need someone by your side to help run that company, to help lead that, to be better. I want you to be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday, and way better than all of us here, okay? We're here because, not because it makes us rich or anything. We're here because we want to give back. We know what it's like to have had hard times, and we know what it's like to have had good times. We want you guys to have an incredible life and be the very best you can of yourself. We want you to believe in yourself like no one else does. Hold yourself accountable in all times. Remember, this day and age, someone's always watching, okay? It's big tech, big brother, whatever you want to call it. And if you believe in God, guess what? God is always watching. And so I want you to remember that you can be so much more than you see yourself as. And I know maybe I sound a little repetitive, but repetition is important because that's how you build success and discipline. Exercise that discipline. If you are someone that participates in sports, you know what it's like to work hard. And if you do other types of talents and disciplines, all those equally take a set amount of hard work and skills and precision, right? If you don't follow the coach's instruction, how are you going to get better? Now, the interesting part is that once you're outside of sports, you just kind of know the coach to go to, right? There's no one that's going to pat you on the back and say, hey, man, do that drill one more time. Sprint, go for it, right? None of that really exists when you're an adult. You're like 18, and if you don't do anything for like 5 days, guess what? No one's going to come after you, right? You can be as lazy as you want in this world, or you can be as productive as you want and help as many people as you can. So I challenge you to, no matter where you end up in your life, don't forget that you have a responsibility to help your fellow man. And so with that, I won't say too much, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and stay strong. It's a tough world.
Thanks, brother. All right, I think we're doing pretty well on time here. The next speaker is Joseph. I will sum it up right here. Joseph and I have become very good friends. I immediately noticed how hard of a worker he is. I also own a company for the last 20 years. And what I look for is people that put maximum effort. They may not know what they're doing, but they put maximum effort into what's in front of them. And that's what Joseph has done for a very long time. I think Joseph is an artist with the camera. That's my, you're an artist, brother. So he's doing all the video for Cody K for Congress, which is my congressional race. We have lots out there. I think some of you have seen some ads on Google and Meta, and you're just going to continue seeing more. And just know that it's a team, right? I've got a consultant that's telling me, you know what, these are the items we need to discuss. We've got a videographer. We put this all together out there into Nevada's District 4 so that we can, try to do the very best job we can for the state of Nevada in the time that we've got. We've got a lot going on, but right now, Joseph is coming to the stage, or to the podium, good friend of mine, and like I said, he's an artist with the camera. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody here, students. This is a little tough. We should have gotten some movies or something for you here because this is a lot of talking. This is like adults talking about adult stuff. But hopefully you'll get something out of it today. And Tony, don't be afraid to just maneuver around the room. You're going to see him. Don't be afraid. He's getting cool images and stuff. So we're here to talk about leadership, and leadership starts before you're ready, right? And I just want to start by saying, like, leadership doesn't begin when you get a title. Okay, once you become a ninth grader or a senior, you know what I mean? That's not when leadership starts. Leadership actually matters once you realize that your choices matter, and the leadership starts to materialize. And every single one of you, you already have influence, whether you think you do or not. And the question is not if you're leading. The question is, how are you leading? Number one, leadership is about accountability, and leadership is not about being perfect. It's about being responsible. And a leader is someone who says, if I messed up, I'll own it. I think there was a few speakers that talked about that. Own up to you messing up. I feel like if I have a 14-year-old son, I feel like teaching him that, yeah, you're going to mess up in life, but if you can tell me the truth, I'm going to respect you so much more. And I'm going to be angry way less. And I think that's very true for a lot of bosses and in a lot of different professional rounds. Now, be somebody that says, like, if I hurt someone, I'll make it right. You know, if I see something wrong, I won't look away. That's what we really need, is more youngsters who are willing to step up and be more courageous, especially with the turmoil that's going on in the lives of children all over the world. And I think we can only let our minds do what I'm kind of referring to there in what's going on in the news. And if you haven't noticed, I would definitely look into that. And one of the hardest things in life is accountability, because it requires humility. It requires looking at yourself and saying, I don't have it all together. I don't have it perfect. I don't have all the answers. I'm not the cherry on top. That's kind of the first thing is understanding, like, you can believe in yourself. That's great. Believe in yourself, but also understand the end all doesn't end and begin with you. And in fact, humility is not a weakness. In fact, it is a strength under control, right? And it doesn't just apply to adults, it applies to you. And you're responsible for your words, your actions, how you treat people, and especially the people who can't give you anything back. Maybe one of those weirdish, quote unquote, weirdish kids that are in the corner in the back and they only hang out with themselves. Maybe it's time to step up and be their friend. That guy right here, you know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's time to step up and be courageous. And be a courageous friend. That's leadership. Entrepreneurship is a mindset, okay? It's not a job. A lot of people think that entrepreneurship means starting a company or making money, which those are some things that can happen from starting entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship really means problem solving. Entrepreneurship, it begins by seeing a problem and asking, how can I help? How can I improve this? How can I build something better? You could be an entrepreneur in school, helping a friend who's struggling. Maybe you are really good at some sort of class. Maybe you're really good at math or English and somebody's really struggling. And you can see that. And you maybe reach out to them. Say, hey, I want to help you out. Starting a club can even be entrepreneur. Creating something that doesn't exist before. That is the spirit of entrepreneurship. Standing up when others stay quiet. There's so many times in your life when you're gonna want to just stay quiet and just go with the flow, but really a leader stands against the grain and they lead by being out front, not being behind, pointing behind a desk. Now, when you create, and you build, and you innovate, and you help others, you're reflecting the love of the universe or God or whatever you want to put on that title. You're reflecting that into the world. You're being the change that you want to be, that you want to see. And you don't have to wait until you're older to think this way. You could do it right now. And that's why we want to come in and speak with you, whether it's to inspire you or to give you a little bit of get a reroute from a speed bump, that some of us had to deal with. Some of the most impactful ideas come from young people who simply refuse to accept this is just how it is. Think about that. Lands that were conquered. Oh, this is just how it is. Slavery. Well, this is just how it is. Well, we're in a state where education needs a lot of help. And I believe that your generation is going to be the main one to help. And that's why we're here now. It's to sort of plant the seed. If you ever seen Inception, I don't know, does that date me a little bit too much? Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy? They put the ideas deep inside the subconscious. That's kind of what we're doing, just more in your face. Because we want to build the next generation of leaders. Because it's so important. Because when we get to a point where we're not going to be able to lead anymore, we need to be able to follow you. We want you to be able to be worth following. And that might not seem like a lot right now because you're a teenager and you're in school and you're thinking about what lunch is going to be. But think about that. You're going to be the future leaders of our community. You're going to be the future educators, the future workers, the future mechanics, the future doctors, the future lawyers. Now, here's the truth. Who you are online is who you are. There is no separation. Every comment, every message, screenshot, every post, it leaves a footprint. You think it gets deleted. It really doesn't. Even things you think are private, they often are not. The NSA can get into your phone, they can get into your computer, they can record everything. Hackers can do the same thing. There are some people out there that they're going to want to try to extort you. They're going to say, send me pictures of yourself, or they're going to make AI pictures of you, send it to you, and say, I've got pictures of you, I've got your whole address book, I'm going to send it to all of your friends and all of your family unless you give me $5,000. And so the first thing you need to do in that case is you need to tell your parents immediately, do not delete any of your messages, it's not your fault, don't be ashamed. Tell your parents immediately, and then have them go to the FBI, don't delete anything, because then they can actually look it up and they can trace it all out. This is a very bad epidemic thing that's going on now, so I want to make sure that you guys hear about it. Now, before you post, ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Does it need to be told right then and there by you in that way? And that doesn't necessarily need to be online either. That could just be in general, just about speaking to people. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If the answer is no, don't post it. If the answer is no, don't say it. Now today, our tongues include our keyboards. And that's kind of where we're getting close to our ending. Is that how long do we have? Do we follow the bells, Cody? We don't. We don't follow the bells. We do what we want here. All right. So today,
The longer the better for them.
today we need to think about our tongues being our keyboards, because you can use technology to destroy people, to tear them down, to isolate them, or you can use it to encourage them, to protect them, to build people up. Be a light in dark spaces. Or you could use it to tear people down, to make them feel horrible. And we know that people have done horrible things because they've been put into those situations, and we don't, personally, as leadership of Nevada, we don't want to see more kids feeling alone. We don't want them to feel isolated. We don't want them to feel like they don't have anyone backing them up. And so that's why we want to encourage people with kindness. Cyberbullying is not, it's not just a joke. Let me be super clear about this. Cyberbullying is not harmless. It is not funny, and it is not something that leaders participate in. Words can follow people home, and screens don't turn off the pain. Some of the strongest people that you know are fighting battles that you can't see. A single comment can push someone further than you realize. And leadership means stepping in. Leadership means saying, that's not okay. Leadership means protecting people when it would be easier just to stay silent. Now, there are leaders out there who have consistently stood for people who were in tough positions. Now, if we want to be in the same suit and follow, we don't join the crowd, we change it. And you're being shaped right now. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not practicing for real life, you are living it. Your habits that you build now, how you treat people, how you respond when no one is watching, those habits become your character. And character will take you places that talent never can. Being good character will take you places that your talent never could. Think about that. As a boss, as a person who hires people to work on commercials, movies, television productions, I would much rather work with somebody that I know is reliable, that I know is good to their word, that is a good judge of character, than the flashy loudmouth that is all about themselves. And I think a lot of bosses actually would agree with me in that aspect of different industries. You don't need to talk like everyone else. You don't need to follow the crowd to belong. You were created with purpose and on purpose. So the real question is, what kind of leader will you be? And I'll leave you with this. Leadership is not loud. It's not popularity. Leadership is not tearing others down to lift yourself up because you're having a bad day. Leadership is choosing integrity when it costs you. Choosing kindness when it's not returned. Choosing courage when fear is easier. Every day, you get to decide who you're becoming. And my hope for you is this: that you lead with humility, and that you create with purpose. That you use your voice to protect and not harm. And that you remember that your worth is not measured by your likes, your followers, your posts, your approvals, your views, but by who God created you to be. You're needed, your choices matter, and leadership starts now. Thank you very much.
Tori, how much time we got? 10? 10, all right. All right, I'm gonna have to leave that there. All right, we got the battle-born leaders here that brought some great information up to Pahranagat Valley today. I'm gonna finish with a few quick stories. Does anybody know what this is? It's not a fishing net, okay? These were our jerseys in 1991 and 92. So these boys right here that get those Pro Look Sports jerseys and the volleyball players, you guys have a pretty good, you don't realize, I was wearing stuff that my brothers were wearing 10 years before when I was in middle school and high school. So quick story, the fall was great. Football was so much fun. I remember every game morning, we played on Saturday mornings. You guys play on Friday now because Ken Higby got you some lights. So, but Saturday mornings were great because everybody came up to my house, to the cattle ranch. And my mom made pancakes, and it was a big deal because she put blueberries in those pancakes. And everybody got to have a great meal together before the game. I don't remember if David was part of that, but I know we were doing it in 1991 and 92. And just the time we spent before the game and the conversations we had, I remember it to this day. Joseph, I'm gonna need that photo. Can we get that photo up? No? Okay. Anyways, one of my favorite days at Pahranagat Valley High School, we had town cleanup day. Do we still do town cleanup day by chance? No? Okay. Well, we had, there was a prize involved, and it was based upon how many bags of trash you could collect. So we were collecting trash all day long. They let us out of school the whole day. I don't know what they were thinking, because you probably know how this is going to end. Anyways, this became very competitive. My junior class started stealing the bags from the sophomore class and keeping them as ours, right? So we were stealing their bags, getting them counted to ours. They caught on to it. They decided they were going to get back at us. Anyways, one of the students had a big bottle of oil, and they drove by, threw the oil out, and just got us all dirty. So here's a bit of advice. If you're going to give somebody the business, make sure it's the second one. Because I'll tell you what we did. We went up to Del Pueblo. We got the to-go trays, the styrofoam to-go trays. Everybody's seen those. We went up to the cattle arena, the rodeo grounds, with a shovel. We shoveled the manure into these boxes of to-go boxes, taped them with gray tape, and we said, we're going to get these guys. So, of course, we were in the back of the truck. We leaned down, couldn't see us. We popped up, and instead of water balloons, it was cow stuff everywhere. On them, on the trucks, everywhere. In the process, we broke a windshield. And what's funny about this little town of Alamo and this great high school is this. Those things never seem to matter. They get kind of, we broke a windshield. Doug Lamro showed up, the local sheriff. We got a big guy back here today supporting our event as well. But the thing I remember is they did take a picture for the yearbook with everybody with their hands over the top of a police vehicle. So it was a great memory. Let me see if I got any more here. Okay, I'm going to end it on this. This is where we reach out and you got to participate. So there's some participation that's about to happen. So up in Carson City, what was it? Winnemucca. You were there. Up in Winnemucca, I gave you might be from rural Nevada if, right? So I'm going to do one of those, and then I'm going to do, you might be from Pahranagat Valley if. So start thinking about it, because I got a couple. So my first one was, you might be from rural Nevada if you think Tonopah and Ely are big cities, right? You're probably from rural Nevada. You might be from Pahranagat Valley if you were coached by a Higby. You might be from Pahranagat Valley if you were educated by a Hanson. Steve, Daryl, Ed, I'm missing, I know I'm missing, the auto shop, what was that? Rob, that's 4. So here's the participation. Can somebody, I got a football for you, if you can come up with one. Somebody come up with, you might be from Alamo if, and I'll bring you the microphone. There you go, there we go. You might be from Alamo if.
Swimming in the ditches.
There you go. Good job, my man. Anybody else? You might be from Alamo if what? Here we go. There you go. Or won a state championship, right? You might be from Pahranagat Valley if you won a state championship. Or 2. You guys have these coming a whole lot more than Alex and I did. You guys are killing it. When we celebrated, I won a state championship in 91. You might be from Pahranagat Valley if
you go crawdad fishing in the ditches.
There you go, crawdad fishing. All right, we got any more? All right, you might be from Pahranagat Valley if what?
You remember drives.
Ooh, 30. That was a short one. Those bus drives I remember were pretty, those things were up to McDermott and Milwaukee. You might be from Pahranagat Valley if what?
If you were born here.
Born here. Bored or born? Born. Oh, let me get you a football. All right. Listen, I wanted to bring some great speakers here because the one thing I was not exposed to growing up, we had a lot of cattle ranchers. Who's got the football? Who's that for? We had cops. Well, that's not a football player. She must be playing ball.
Great quarterback right there.
That was left-handed too. So, you know, I wanted to bring some people up here that could really talk about what's going to happen in the next few years. I will promise you, from your 8th to 9th grade years until you're right into the thick of college, and then you're an adult and you're heading into your life, it happens so fast. And I know these days up here and these summer days in Alamo seem to drag on so long. But I will tell you this, you guys had great educators, you had great leaders, and it was a great place to launch from. This is one of the best places you could ever dream to launch from. A great education where teachers love you, and you know what? If you screw up, they're going to call your parents and tell them about it. So I want to open up for questions real quick. A couple questions. I know we took a full hour. I've got some footballs for you, so I'll throw them out here in the crowd in a minute. But Tori, just take questions, or how do you want to do it? Everybody up, let's go. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Yeah, yeah. All right, who's got any questions for my group of battle-born leaders here? All right, here we go.
Just out of random curiosity, was the diner that you had here was the Mexican diner? Was it called the Alamo Diner?
It was called Del Fogo. But it got torn down, but like 2008, probably before.
Okay, because there used to be a place here called the Alamo.
Yeah, I know that too.
I used to eat there all the time. That's why I was asking. They had Mexican.
Our place was better.
Much better. The chips and salsa, and then Little Ash. All right, who's got one? Here we go. Nope, take it. Speak into it.
If you have one thing to say to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh, wow. I don't think we got that much time.
Who do you want to answer that? You want to answer like one thing my younger self would probably be just lock in more, to be honest. Lock in because time runs out super quick. I just had my end-of-year high school reunion like a few months ago or something. I was like, oh my gosh, time does run out quick. So it's really
I would say to my younger self, don't ever doubt yourself.
And I would say, we spend so much time, like 50% of our time dealing with emotion, 50% of our time dealing with anxiety from what other people judge us. Just stop ignoring what people care, say, or think, and believe in yourself.
Don't be afraid to walk across the gym floor, ask a girl to dance, and take her out there and dance. That's what I will tell you right now.
I was never afraid of that. I was never afraid of that.
I would say, don't be afraid to find your faith early. Because that really got me through. I really walked away from that really early. I don't have a chance with your football. Give me one.
All right.
Let's see who has a better arm.
Okay, here we go. Here we go, Alex. Let's go. These don't fly very well. Listen, thank you for coming out today. I really hope that you got something out of this because these are the people that I lean on, okay? Everywhere you go, you're going to see different faces. You're going to have men, women, all different geographic. And the one thing that we didn't get when we were here is we didn't get a lot of difference of opinions. We had our teachers, we had our Boy Scout leaders, we had our church leaders. But that's a pretty small group right here in Pahranagat Valley. So today, you got a great group of people, professionals, that are telling you what's next. And you know what? Go out and be the leaders for our future. Thank you. Could we give these guys one more round of applause, please? Thank you so much for coming today. Mrs. Formaster, what are we at? Sixth, seventh? Seventh period.